Okay, welcome back everyone to Dark Moon Diaries episode 72. Last time we left off, we had a lot happen. Starting with the Innocence fight.
Got shot in the back.
And we found out that Emmett Sulk is clearly not someone you want to mess with because he's always carrying around a gun. But yeah, let's keep going from there. Our goal now is to at least get to Endwalker as soon as possible, just so Scar will end up getting Monster Hunter Rise. And then we'll play that. And also, for anyone who's watching this, like, this is going to be much later on, we have started streaming. So the day that we're recording this, we started our first stream yesterday, actually. And it was a decent turnout, and we're thankful to everyone who came. But we're going to try and make this more of a consistent thing. And we're probably going to stream other games. So we might leave Final Fantasy as our simply just YouTube series, or Final Fantasy 14 at least. And we'll do other games on stream. So let's keep going on with the story.
Okay.
Oh, sir, you're awake. You were injured during the foray on Mount Gold, yes? I was here at my station, as always, when they carried you in on a makeshift stretcher looking disturbingly bereft of vigor. And to compound my worry, the sky has, well, I'm sure you've seen. It has everyone rather concerned, to say the least. Seeing you up and about is the first good news we've had in a while. Assuming you feel strong enough, would you mayhap consider a stroll around the city to reassure our anxious citizens? Bragi was one of those who helped convey you to your chambers, and he has visited several times since to inquire after your condition. Who is Bragi? Do not quite remember. Oh yeah, it's somber music right now because of what just happened with the light being back.
Well, that and their leader just died.
Well, he didn't die.
He got shot in the back!
That doesn't mean he died. He got kidnapped.
Oh, and he got shot in the back.
Yes.
He's
And Emmett Sulk straight up said he's still alive.
He's gonna die.
Well, well, look who's back from the dead. Aye, it was a grim sight. Your companions looked fair ready to drop when they brought you in, so I offered a helping hand. Couldn't bear to see them struggle so. And you, my friend, I feared you had one foot in the grave, cold and lifeless you were, like a corpse that was somehow still breathing. Then they told me some evil bastard went and snatched our poor Exarch away in the midst of the chaos. Wicked White, what is the world coming to?
Yeah, as a doctor, he's probably seen enough people that have turned to sin eaters. He should be able to tell if we're freaking a sin eater.
Is Bragi a doctor?
Oh, sorry, you might, sorry, next section. Next section, my bad.
Ah, but moaning never solved a thing, did it? Nay, it's times like these that we Crystarium folk stand tall and do what needs to be done. Trade with Yomor is back on the table. We'd best make use of those resources to fortify the city against the Eaters, or whatever misery the fates deem fit to throw at us next. Speaking of misery, Chesamal was worried sick about you. A healer wringing her hands is not a sight you wish to ever see, let me tell you. Where is Chesamal anyway? Oh, well, I guess we might as well just run instead of teleporting and then running. It's right out there, right? So, Scar, what did you think of our stream yesterday?
You left, and that was awkward.
I mean, like, that was the main point. Kelvin was straight up like, just be as awkward as possible.
Yeah, and then I was like focusing on what I was doing, so I was like, this is quiet, too quiet. I'm not used to it.
Oh, sweetie, you're alive. No one's been allowed to see you. Even Spirigius Shurigons were forbidden from making visits. Reen was kind enough to tell me you were showing symptoms similar to Eater corruption. So I suppose there was little any of us could have done for you in any case. Can't breathe through my nose. As for your companions, they've been rushing hither and yon, seeking a cure to your condition. I worry to see their faces grow ever more haggard every time they pass through the Crystarium. I shall let them know you're awake, and when they come to see you, sweetie, please do convince them to rest a bit. They won't be helping anyone if they all collapse of exhaustion. Oh, I guess she is an older lady. And our own Morin has been a little better, I'm afraid. He hasn't left the cabinet, too busy with his nose buried in one dusty tome or another. Morin is...
At the very top, the
Cabinet of Curiosity, right?
Yeah. And he's all the way up at the top.
Yeah, I remember that. So at least for today, our goal is to finish off the 5.0 story, right?
I guess I have to...
Like, I don't think we'll get to 5.5, obviously. But we can at least get the 5.0 story done.
Can I jump off this? Yes.
Confound it. This says the same thing as the last. Mayhap I should approach the problem from a different perspective. Also, what would you do if I bought you the game?
I would play the game.
Okay. Glacier, it is truly you and not some figment of my imagination. Oh, but this is wonderful! 'Twould seem our prayers have been answered. Feeling otherwise helpless, I've been scouring our shelves for the wisdom to explain this most worrisome conundrum. Why, with all the light wardens defeated, has the light returned to obscure the sky? I must have pored over 100 tomes, but no definitive conclusion seems forthcoming. So many questions I would pose to the Exarch, and thus do I feel his absence all the more keenly. Now that you are awake, however, I am hopeful the search for our stolen steward might begin in earnest. Catelys, meanwhile, leads the Crystarium Mean in preparations for battle, though against what foe we are yet uncertain. Why not pay her a visit? I expect seeing you upright will be a much welcome relief. Catelys Everdeen? Is that her name now?
Yeah. She looks like her. No, I'm joking.
Crystalline Mean, right? Please tell me it's a Crystalline Mean and I did just go to the wrong area. Oh no, I did go to the right area. Woo! Glacier, alive and well, I see. You gave us all a proper fright, you know that? Not a day's gone by that I haven't heard folk worrying of what's become of you or the Exarch. Anyway, I'm glad you've recovered enough to stand. You're not planning on striking out straight away, though, are you? I was hoping to have a better look at your equipment. If we'd been able to provide you with better weapons or sturdier helms, then maybe you would have won the day and the Exarch would still be here. As such, we're keeping busy consulting each other on new forging techniques, or forging techniques, and designs and the like. If you could stand still a moment, I'd like to assess the gear we're trying to improve. Aye, well, that's some fine work, I must admit. It wouldn't be impossible to make something better, but we'd need to experiment with different patterns and materials. I'm not sure we have that kind of time. That sounds like a challenge that he would enjoy. Who's this guy? I don't remember. Greetings, Glenard. The Master of the Stairs is running his own errands now, is he? Aye, well, my servants are distraught enough as it is, and I didn't want to crack the whip too hard. But never mind that. I'm thinking our absent genius and his epiphanies are the perfect answer to this predicament of yours. And by genius, you mean old Grenold? He is a man of unrivaled gifts. I won't argue with you there. But what good does his talent do us if we can't bloody find him? No one's seen hide nor hair of Grenold since he wandered off some years ago. You know what he's like once he latches onto an idea. He's probably cloistered himself in some forgotten cave, completely absorbed in his latest creation. I wouldn't even know where to start looking.
Cloister.
Yes, cloister.
Cloister.
That does make things difficult. Still, if that eccentric is someone you're destined to meet, I wager he'll show up soon enough. In my time at the bar, many's the tale I've heard told of strangely fated encounters, even if a few of them might be stretching the truth just a bit. We'll keep our noses to the grindstone for the time being, but on the off chance you do encounter Grenold, you'd be wise to take advantage of this brilliance rather than wait on our slow and steady progress. This is all talk for when you're fully recovered, of course. I'll let you get back to convalescing, eh? Oh my goodness. Ah, before you do that, you're actually the reason I came over here in the first place. I don't suggest partaking of my stock until you're properly well, but if you're passing near the stairs, then I have a regular who's eager to meet you. I'd best be getting back. Just because the world's coming apart at the seams doesn't mean we have to follow suit now, does it? Hear, hear. We can't forget the heart upon which the city was founded, or the Exarch might not have much of a home to return to. Na 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 na. I am level 80. Wonder what my level 80 ability is actually. Oh, this probably requires me to do the job quest.
Yep.
Yeah, I will, so I'm gonna have to go and do that before we move on, really. Oh, I guess until we have another dungeon, and that's when I'll go and do them. Because it gives me Enshroud. Void Reaping, Cross Reaping, and Grim Reaping, so I'll learn that later. Glacier, are you alright? I think a return to your sickbed might be in order. Or you might consider resting a while atop the watchtower next to the rookery. This damnable sky doesn't make for the most soothing scenery, but the Exarch often likes to stand there and feel the wind upon his face. Take a moment to feel the wind upon our face. What is this, the rookery? Is it talking cutscene, my love?
Yep.
Wait, what? Oh, it is up here.
Of this city have spirit, I'll give them that. They've not lost the will to fight. I can imagine how torn you must feel, looking at that sky, knowing what it means to everyone, and that you're responsible. If you're thinking of coming clean, don't. It might make you feel better, but it would make things 100 times worse for them. They're better off not knowing.
SW?
You're in a corner, and there doesn't seem to be any obvious way out. That doesn't mean it's over. However hopeless it seems, you haven't lost yet. I remember looking up at the sky like this before. Being caught up in a strange kind of calm. It was after we realized we were responsible for the flood. When we resolved to journey to the source by taking our own lives. One last sacrifice. One last fight. One last failure.
Oh, is she gonna take
And then
some?
the Oracle appeared and, well, you know the rest. There were times in the years and decades that followed when I wondered if we might not have been better off just letting the rejoining happen. That we'd made one last mistake. But seeing that giant Talos stir to life cured me of any doubts I still had. Always we took the burden of fighting upon ourselves. That's what heroes do, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we never had the chance to see anything like that. Our people coming together as one. To think that their hope still burned so bright. That they were still so eager to live, they would lift up their fellows, one on top of the other, till they reached the sky. No. We made the right decision. And I can finally feel proud of the part we played in helping this world survive.
Ah, she calls us a flower.
Oh.
Well, come on then.
Fist bump? You're gonna leave him? Thanks. Are we gonna do it? No, we actually fist bumped.
As I thought. What happened between us was no coincidence. My story may be finished, but the fates have gifted me a minor role in yours. I suspected as much the moment I realized you could hear me. But it's hard not to doubt yourself when you're the man who caused the flood. I was afraid to do anything more than watch for fear of making things even worse. But no longer. After all, the path I once walked is now yours to finish. For what it's worth, I cast my lot with yours. If you need a push, I'll be right there behind you. If you lose control, I'll do my best to stop you. So, let us be about it, hero.
That's adorable. Hardbert being all like, "You got this."
Oh,
Yeah.
worried you were up here all alone, brooding and fretting and wallowing in your woes. But look at you, grinning at nothing like a pollen-drunk pixie.
Wait, why is Feowell here again? I thought she's Titania.
You'll see. She just loves us so much.
Done to your ether. It's a mess.
She's like our
Cracks
mommy.
running all through that pretty soul of yours.
She'll do anything for her child.
My poor little sapling. Whatever am I to do with you?
We're gonna climb the tower.
Shall I yield up my throne? You could claim it, cut ties with the mortal world, hide away in the castle. It won't fix the problem. Would it really matter? If any pesky heroes
Aw.
come calling with steel and
Yeah,
magic,
see.
all of Ilmeg will rise up in your defense. I crown and scepter are yours, if you want them. Oh, don't give me that look. Of course I knew before I asked that you'd never ever heed such a wicked suggestion. And besides, what would become of my precious and ephemeral flower? My dear beloved sapling, you are lost, confused, and have precious little time to gather your wits.
I'm in the middle of a cutscene.
Your kind is always so preoccupied with what lies ahead, and so we muddle your vision with... But such trickery is easy to see through.
It stopped you.
Okay.
Stand very, very still. Think not of where you need to go, but where you are right
I'm
now
already like
at this
ahead of you
moment,
in the story times.
at this time, in this place. Our cairn of crystal. From shadowed hood he watched you go, his ruby eyes with warmth aglow. See yourself as he saw you, and that shall be the clearest clue.
What's up with all the rhyming? Sorry about that, had a call. She said something which I also missed.
With it, I wonder. I'll be watching and waiting. Waiting and watching.
I love how this story's all coming together right now, and obviously we have to have the camera off for a second. You know what? I'm just gonna let Scar know that the camera's coming back on. Cause I've gotten used to having the webcam on now. Okay, let's see. On the Crystal Exarch. So this might end up being a bit of a longer episode today. Because there is a lot that we gotta do. And hopefully it all goes well. Oh, I did not expect to see you on your feet so soon. Surely you have not come in search of an Amaro. What do I know of the Crystal Exarch? I am happy to share, but I fear there will be no surprising revelations. As any in this city could tell you, he is a man of wisdom and compassion and many untold secrets. But none can doubt his generosity. When the Crystarium was being constructed, he even allowed folk to plunder the tower for resources. He has imposed no restrictions upon us but one. No one except the Exarch is permitted to dwell within the spire. Many seasons past, a comrade of mine was bold enough to ask the reason why. The Exarch merely smiled and said, because one day the Crystal Tower may vanish as suddenly as it arrived. Okay, where is the next one? The Amaro launch. And then to the Cabinet of Curiosity. Glacier, it is good to see you awake and alert, my friend. What's this about? You're not writing the Exarch's memoirs, are you? I'm not sure how much I can tell you, considering we avoid asking too many questions. Unspoken rule and all that. If anyone has fresh insights to share, then it'd be Captain Lena, I'd say. She lost her parents to an eater attack not long after she was born. And the Exarch saw to her upbringing. Outward appearances aside, those two are like grandfather and granddaughter. I imagine the news of his predicament hit her doubly hard. Not that our proud captain would ever let it show. If you do decide to talk to Lena, she'll be at her usual post at the censor gate. And I gotta go up to the Cabinet of Curiosity. I'm guessing the person is all the way at the top. It's the librarian again?
Yeah.
Well, I call him librarian, but he's not really a librarian. The keeper of books, I think is what his title was. Oh, was there something else you needed? If you come for the results of my research into this persistent light, I'm afraid there's little to tell as of yet. Records pertaining to the Exarch. Well, I need no documentation to relay what little I know of his history, if that is what interests you. Less than a decade had passed since the coming of the Flood, when the Crystal Tower first flashed into existence. Its summoner, the Exarch himself, became known to the refugees in Lakeland soon after. He welcomed all who sought out the spire, be they locals who had lost their homes or Voberites fleeing their ruined kingdom, and together did they found the city which would become the Crystarium. Some thought to call him king, for he refused to share his name, but the summoner did not deem himself worthy of royal address. Thus did the people consider his scintillating skin, so alike to the tower he had summoned, and bestowed upon him the title of Crystal Exarch. As for his true name, well, 'twould seem that is a mystery that yet remains unsolved to this day. Okay, so once we finish this quest off, we'll end the episode. And upon ending the episode, I think I will go and do my Reaper job quest really quick. Just because it has like a big ability hidden behind it right now. What do you mean,
Okay.
What? It's like a really big ability hidden behind it. It's just a job quest anyway. Glacier, I was not told you had awoken. A welcome surprise. Now, if only the Exarch was returned to us. He was taken by this rival of yours, was he not? Your companions mentioned they had an idea of where to find him, and so I was bristled when they asked for patience. I did not understand their hesitation until I saw that you had fallen. Only then did I realize I had no business rushing ahead. Even so, the delay has been no less agonizing. In the moments before he left to join you in Calusia, the Exarch entrusted me with the key. It opens a door in the ocular to a chamber known as the Umbilicus. This room is the heart of the tower, into which only the Exarch himself is permitted to enter. He bid me allow none into the tower once he had departed. Only in the event that an army of eaters descended upon the city was I to access the Umbilicus and awaken the defensive barrier. Never before had he left me with such instructions, but the battle with Vothri loomed near, and at the time I accepted the key without much thought. Since then, however, that moment is all that occupies my mind. When I recall the look upon his face, he knew that some terrible fate awaited him. Tell me, Glacier, I need to know what he feared, what battle you and your companions are truly fighting. Forgive me. I trust in the Exarch, and I should not be voicing these doubts when he is not here to respond to them personally. But you have come to me with a question of your own, have you not? Ah, I see I am not the only one who burns for answers. The time has come to open the tower's heart. Though we do not face an invasion of eaters, I suspect the city will be in far more danger if you do not gain the knowledge you seek. Alright, everyone. We are going to call it an episode here. We will see you in the next one.